Hey guys, sorry I'm out today. I'll be back tomorrow, but I want to go over what you're going to do today. So this will be a short play posit, and then you'll have the rest of the period to work. So we got through most of 6.2 in class the past couple of days. I just want to review the two new options that we learned about to convert fractions to percents, go over the last couple of example problems, and then you're going to work on Big Idea 6.2 for the rest of the period. If you finish early, go back, check all your back work to see if there's anything you're missing and work on that. Okay, so quick review. Option number one that we talked about. So option number one, what you're going to do is you're going to divide the numerator by the denominator, and that will turn it into a decimal. And then you take that decimal and multiply by 100, or remember, you can just move that decimal point 2 places to the right, and then you add a percent sign. So for example, let's turn 1/2 into a percent. So the first thing I do is divide. So I do 1. Hold on, I can put my pen on there. Oh, I gotta put my pen on. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's try that again. 1 divided by 2. And 1 divided by 2 equals 0.5. Okay, then you take that 0.5 and you multiply it by 100, or you just take that decimal point, move it 1, 2 places to the right, add a 0, and add a percent sign. So that would be 50%. So we got through most of 6.2 in class the past couple of days. I just want to review the two new options that we learned about to convert fractions to percents, go over the last couple of example problems, and then you're going to work on Big Idea 6.2 for the rest of the period. If you finish early, go back, check all your back work to see if there's anything you're missing and work on that. Okay, so quick review. Option number one that we talked about. So option number one. What you're going to do is you're going to divide the numerator by the denominator, and that will turn it into a decimal. And then you take that decimal and multiply by 100, or remember, you can just move that decimal point 2 places to the right, and then you add a percent sign. So for example, let's turn 1/2 into a percent. So the first thing I do is divide. So I do 1. Hold on, I can put my pen on there. Oh, I got to put my pen on. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's try that again. 1 divided by 2. And 1 divided by 2 equals 0.5. Okay, then you take that 0.5 and you multiply it by 100, or you just take that decimal point, move it 1, 2 places to the right, add a 0, and add a percent sign. So that would be 50%. Option 2 would be if you have a fraction that's got a denominator that's very easy to turn into 100. For example, if the denominator is 4, you multiply by 25. The denominator is 5, you multiply by 20. Let's try it with 3/25. So to turn this fraction into a percent, what you want to do is write an equivalent fraction that has a denominator of 100. So to turn a 25 into a 100, what you do is you're going to multiply by 4. So you multiply the 25 times 4. Ooh, didn't look very good. Do the same thing to the 3, multiply by 4. And what you get is 12 over 100. Remember, percent means for each 100. So if it's 12 for each 100, and it's 12 over 100, that's 12%. Okay? 2 methods. I also want to remind you about the conversion rule table that I put in the notes for you. So this shows you how to convert any of the number formats to one of the others. For example, the purple will show you decimal to fraction and decimal to percent. The light blue is fraction to decimal and fraction to percent. And the green is percent to decimal or percent to fraction. So if you forget, go back and look at the table. Okay, so where we left off, there were like 2 more problems I think we have to do. So we did one ordering problem at the end of class on Friday. This is the one we didn't get to. So we're going to use a number line to order these numbers from least to greatest. Remember a couple things. 1, when you are ordering them, order the original values. And if you're going to use the decimal method, make sure that all of your decimals are going to have the same number of decimal places. Add zeros at the end if necessary. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different numbers. We've got some decimals. We have a mixed number. I got percents. Okay, and another decimal, another percent. You may pick any number format you want to put them in order. However, please don't use the fractions. Too challenging for most 7th grade students. You want to either use the decimals or the percents. They're much easier. In this example, I'm going to do percents. So let's start with the 2.62. So 2.62. Remember, to turn a decimal into percent, you have two options. You can multiply by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the right, which is the same thing. So I'm going to move that 2 places to the right, and that turns into 262%. So that's one of my numbers. Next, I'm going to take 2 and 2/5. So 2 and 2/5. Let me change my pen here a little bit. 2 and 2/5. Okay? So when you're working with a mixed number, you've got two options. You can either turn that into an improper fraction and then go from fraction to percent, or if you're able to understand that you can separate that 2 out and the 2/5 out and just work on the 2/5 and reattach it to the 2, that is another option. However, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the first method. I'm going to turn this to an improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 2, which is 10, because there are 10/5 in 2, and add that to the 2/5, and that's going to give me 12/5. So to turn this into a percent, I'm going to use the method where I'm going to turn this into an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100, because I can turn a 5 into 100 pretty easily. 5 times 20 is 100, so therefore I'm going to multiply the 12 times 20, and I can do 10 times 20, which is 200, and 2 times 20, which is 40, so that's going to be 240 over 100, which is going to be 240%. Okay, 26.8%, that's good the way it's written. I don't have to do anything to that one. 2.26. So I have 2.26. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that by 100 by moving the decimal 2 places to the right, 1, 2, and that's going to equal 226%. Okay, so let's look at all the values we've got. I've got the first one that I did right here, which is 262%. The second one I did, that 2 and 2/5, that's 240%. Okay, then I've got one from the table that I didn't have to convert, that's 26.8%, that's already a percent. Then I had the 2.26, which converted to 226%. And the last one in the table that is already a percent is 271%. So now that you've got them all in the same format, now you simply place them on the number line. Go from least to greatest. So when I look at all these values, the least value is this one right here, the 26.8%. Now remember, when you put it on the line, I want you to use the original value. And that original value was a percent. So I'm just going to write that down here as the 26.8%. Okay, so that one's done. Next, going from least to greatest, looking at all of my percentages, it looks like 226% is next. And that original number, remember, was that decimal 2.26. So the next one on the number line is going to be the original number 2.26. So that guy's done. Next would be 240%. 240%, remember, originally was 2 and 2/5. So that's going to be 2 and 2/5. So 240% is done. Next is 262%, which was that 2.62. So next is 2.62. And that leaves me with 271%, which was in its original form the way it's written. So from least to greatest, I have a 26.8%, 2.26, 2 and 2/5, 2.62, and 271%. When you put them in order, remember, original form. Now, make sure you pause, go to your notes, and I want you to solve this problem. You can kind of take a picture here to help you when you go back to fill it in. Okay, now for the last one, this one you're going to do independently. I'm just going to get you rolling, and then the PlayPosit's going to end, and you're going to finish this, and then start Big Idea 6.2. So this is the same idea. You just have to set up the number line. Okay, so the problem says sleep. The table shows the portions of the day that several animals sleep. Order the animals by sleep time from least to greatest. So you have to go through each animal, dolphin, lion, rabbit, squirrel, and tiger, and you have to convert them all to the same number. So remember to choose decimals or percents. So you're going to convert all of these to the same type of number, put them in order on a number line. So you're going to have to draw yourself a number line. from least to greatest. Part B says estimate the portion of the day that you sleep and where do you fit on the ordered list. So on your number line, I'm going to want to see you in there. Okay, so you have to think, well, how long do I sleep? So for me, I generally fall asleep anywhere from 9 to 10, and I'm usually up around 5. So if I estimate around 9 I go to bed, I sleep till 5, 9 until midnight, that's 3 hours, and then midnight to 5, that is 5 hours. So where I would fall would be at 8 hours. So 8 hours is out of a 24-hour day. So I'd have to figure out, well, what percent or decimal does 8/24 equal? So I'd have to convert that fraction to a percent or a decimal. So when you figure out how many hours you sleep, you're going to put it over 24 and do the conversion. Okay? So solve this problem. I'm going to want to see it tomorrow. I'll be back Tuesday, and then work on Big Idea 6.2 for the rest of the period. Any questions, shoot me an email. I may be able to get back to you tonight. If not, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Miss you guys. See you tomorrow.